Welcome to the Millionaire Maker Show, a podcast helping online coaches monetize their life's work and scale their businesses to create more time, more money, more freedom, and more impact. Now, with over 20 years of business building, coaching, and consulting experience, here's your host, author, speaker, and creator of the Millionaire Maker Coaching Funnel, Lindsay Anderson.
Hey there, everybody. Welcome to this episode of the Millionaire Maker Show. I am your host, Lindsay Anderson, and I'm so excited that you're joining me today because I'm going to be answering one of the biggest questions that I get asked by the coaches that I both do done for you for, as well as mentor in my coaching programs. And that is, Lindsay, what is the best social media platform for my coaching business? Now, spoiler alert, guys, it's not all of them. If you try to tackle all of these social media platforms at once, you will make no progress on any of them. So during today's episode, we're going to be going over the major platforms. We're going to be talking about Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and TikTok, and why you might consider one of those platforms for either starting out taking social media really seriously so that it can be a real asset in your coaching business, or if you're thinking about going to another platform, repurposing your content, and figuring out the best platform to go to. That's exactly what we're covering today. Now, before I hop into that, this week I am hosting my Fill Your Coaching Programs with Social Media workshop. It's not too late to get signed up. The replays are available for a limited time. All you need to do is hop over to fillyourcoachingprograms.live, and right there you'll be able to put your name and email address in there and get the workbook, get the replays, and get registered for this powerful 5-day workshop. Over the course of 5 days, covering what to post on social media to attract high-quality clients and how to get those individuals off of social media and into your coaching programs. So head over to fillyourcoachingprograms.live. And even if you're listening to this a couple weeks later, head over there anyway. I'm always giving some sort of live workshop or masterclass that you can absolutely catch. Connect with me and let me help you grow your online coaching business with ease. So let's hop into today's topic, which is what social media platform should you be posting on? And all of them have pros and cons. I'm going to be sharing with you today my experience between me and my clients, what we're seeing out there on social media, and it really depends on what you like to do, where you like to show up, where your audience is, where you're spending your time. That's really a huge consideration. And really, honestly, that's exactly where I would start. Where do you have the best audience and engagement right now? That is number one, because you have to understand social media is not a one-way street. It's social for a reason. And those algorithms know if you're doing what I call a content drop and run, you're having a VA or your team member create some social media content, and you are not spending any time out there engaging, getting to know other individuals in your industry, getting to know these individuals who follow you, and really aiming for a quality versus a quantity situation out there on social media. I call it my social media black book strategy. Instead of viewing all of these social media platforms as just a sales mechanism and someplace you need to go and market, and it's how many followers can I get? I just want to be like an influencer and get a bunch of followers. Instead, you really want to focus in on quality. Because when you view social media, any of these platforms, as your little black book, social media will back you up on that. The algorithms will serve your content to people that you're engaging with. If people see your stories and they're looking at your stories, the algorithms will really help you and serve your content up to people. Not only that, it will give you recommendations on other people that you need to connect with And it can be a real asset to your business when you view it more like a customer relationship management system than just a sales place where I need to go and post all of this marketing stuff. I promise you this, and this is what I tell my coaching clients in Content That Converts. I say, if you focus on the micro, the macro will take care of itself. If you're focusing on authentic connection, authentic interaction, actually caring about social media, not hating social media, and just interacting and time blocking that on your calendar, this will become a huge asset for your business. You got to know this. The algorithms are super smart. They know what you're doing and they will serve you well if you put in quality information, quality in, quality out. They know who you're DMing. They know what you're saying. They know who is pausing at the image in their feed. And so it's just in your best interest. You don't want a bunch of crap going into the algorithm because then it won't serve you. So be careful the posts that you like, what you're pausing on, those kind of things, because it all feeds into the equation. And when you approach social media like that, you will have a lot more success with it, especially if you're following. I've covered this in previous episodes of the Millionaire Maker Show, especially if you're following my VEMS model and you set up social media in a system so you aren't running in fits and spurts, so you aren't starting and stopping, so you aren't overwhelmed every day, all day about when to get the next social media post out. Instead, it's a part of your process, it's a part of your business, and quite frankly, if you're anything like me, which chances are you are, you love connection and really getting to know people. And what it is about social media that's a real big turnoff is how it feels like a sales mechanism and how it feels like everyone is always selling to you and there isn't authentic connection. But if you have a good attitude going into social media and you really care about it and treat it like a CRM and that these individuals that you're interacting with are actually individuals, then you will have it becomes just a real awesome activity and you can actually enjoy it. So let's talk about the social media platform. So there's a couple things that you want to take into account. It's your audience, where your audience is hanging out, their demographics, what kind of content you like to create. Do you like to create short form videos? Do you like to create posts? Do you like to take selfies? Do you like to make visually pleasing graphics? Do you like to play around in Canva? Well, that's a big consideration because if you hate to do short form video, then I wouldn't recommend TikTok. Although for coaches, short form talking head video is really an amazing way to go. Next, you want to consider the features. Can you run paid ads on there? Are there stories? Can you DM people? What are the different features? You want to look at where your competition is and how much competition there is, and really your personal preferences. If you hate a certain social media platform, if you are like, I cannot get on TikTok because then they will have all of my information and I'm just not comfortable with that, then don't be on TikTok. So let's cover all of the social media platforms. Let's start with Facebook Personal. I love Facebook Personal because it's personal. Now, you gotta be really careful with the content out there on Facebook Personal. You cannot really post blatant sales. You can't really post a lot of informational type of reels. What people are expecting out on Facebook Personal are, hey, who I graduated from high school with or who I'm networking with in the community. Now, Facebook is trying to really make these public and allow you to have a much broader reach, but you still want to go into Facebook Personal with being like, okay, this is a mixed audience of people who do not want to see any marketing at all. And so everything you do on Facebook Personal, you've really got to surround in storytelling and you have to have a personal touch. And when you do that, you can build a really great relationship mechanism out there. And when you can DM people and really connect with friends and family, share personal updates and content, The other bonus you got out there on Facebook is the power of Facebook groups. Now, I have a course called Facebook Group Secrets for Coaches, and Facebook groups are an amazing asset and a great way to build a community, connect with prospects, advertise in a closed community kind of way, and really build up your expertise. And so it is a really powerful platform to grow your coaching business. Now, right now on Facebook Personal, there's limited analytics. You can't run ads. And so getting your reach out there can be harder. And that's something to consider. And there is a risk of mixing business and personal content. The real benefits of Facebook is you can get a lot of reach and make a lot of really great connections. So let's go to Facebook Business. Facebook Business doesn't have nearly the reach as the Facebook personal pages. However, they will allow you to run ads, and so you'll be able to get a lot more people on your page. They give you some detailed analytics and insights so you can actually see what's working. They give you the ability to add a call to action button out there, and it's really made for coaching businesses. So the best way I've seen Facebook Business used is that it has a very seamless integration with Instagram. If you're posting on one or the other, you should just post on both and take all that content that you're posting on Instagram and just allow it to flow into your Facebook business page. But don't forget, there's a whole other community over there. There's other people looking at your stories over there. There's other people looking at the content, so you have to engage on both places because the audience is going to be different in every single one of these places. You're going to find different kinds and different types of people from your audience on every single one. So that's why at the top of the show, I recommend hitting one social media platform at a time because you want to be nurturing that audience. You want to be interacting with others in your industry. You want to be making those real connections, and you want to be doing it on every single platform that you want to grow. Now, the cons of Facebook Business is that organic reach is pretty dang low. It goes up and down. It typically stays pretty low, and I haven't found it to be the best place for you to focus on to get coaching clients. You're better off using Facebook Personal and allowing your Instagram to flow through to your Facebook business page. Now let's talk a little bit about Instagram. Now, Instagram is a very, very visual platform. You want to have your brand out there. You want to be posting nice images or nice graphics. The quickest way you're going to grow on Instagram is the ability to use Reels. These are short form videos. You want to be using a mix of your own talking head videos plus trending audio and B-roll in the background. You want to be showing up really consistently on this platform and making sure that it looks nice and it's really cohesive. However, I really like Instagram because as I share with my Content That Converts students, Instagram is really set up as a website or your storefront. When you go to your Instagram profile, and this is how people use it, they'll see a reel in the feed, they'll like you, they'll go look at your profile, and you can really set up your profile to be a storefront. You can set up highlights to advertise what's next, workshops, client testimonials, freebies that you're offering. All of your feed can really speak to your expertise and your personality and really allow people to consume your content. And that know, like, and trust factor can really go through the roof. The way Instagram is laid out, I say it's made just for coaches. The ability to post on stories and see who is seeing your stories and create conversations in those stories and to send DMs. I mean, Instagram is where I really recommend coaches consider if you are wondering what social media platform to go on. You can have a really wide reach out there. You can run ads. They give you a lot of insights. I just really like Instagram for a coaching business. Which brings me to TikTok. When you're on TikTok, Obviously, this is short form video, although out on TikTok, it's getting longer and longer. So, TikTok is really great and something to consider for your coaching business because number one, when you do talking head videos out on TikTok or at all, it really allows people to know, like, and trust you. And that's what you're going to see on TikTok. The requirements for having this cohesive, brand strategy that is really needed out there to succeed on Instagram is not as high on TikTok. TikTok is much more casual. You can just turn on your phone and really record things. It doesn't have to be as scripted as Instagram. And you can really have some very deep and meaningful conversations and interactions out there on TikTok. In fact, even if you're not on TikTok, I highly, highly recommend you spend some time over there, at least looking at other coaches in your niche and what they're talking about, because the content you'll get on TikTok is super specific, super deep, very, very niche, and you can really find a following out there, and it doesn't take as much graphical work as Instagram. Now, the way I've seen TikTok work is it is very closely tied to Instagram. And so many of the people that will follow you on TikTok will actually look you up on Instagram for the ability to further connect with you and really see a more professional version of you. And so certainly, you can just get coaching clients just being on TikTok because you'll be able to DM people. You can do stories over there. It's a great platform, but it works really well in conjunction with Instagram. Now, LinkedIn is more for professionals. This is where the coaches who are leadership coaches, HR coaches, those individuals working in the C suite will be hanging out. And the beautiful part about LinkedIn is there is a large audience of professionals and decision makers out there. And it gives you a real opportunity to establish thought leadership and showcase your expertise. They have great analytics and insight and can really help you grow a platform out there. The problem with LinkedIn, there's limited personal touch compared to other platforms. When you're selling coaching, intimacy sells coaching. And so when we're all buttoned up and people can't see your vibe, it becomes harder to convert coaching clients on LinkedIn until you have a real strong following because the tone out there is more formal and professional. It may not fit all coaching niches, and it may require more time and effort to build a strong presence and network out on LinkedIn. And so it really comes down to more thought leadership type of content. And if that's what you like to write and you're willing to go out and interact with other people on LinkedIn and really build your network out there, it can definitely work for you. Now, one more platform I really want to talk about is YouTube. I love YouTube for coaches. There's a huge audience on YouTube. You can create long form content and tutorials. It really allows you to step up there and share your expertise. And because you need to build that know, like, and trust factor, YouTube is a really great way to do that. Also, when you're on YouTube, there is a potential to be seen on the search engines. When people Google you, then your YouTube video will come up. The obstacles that you're going to face on YouTube is it will require video production skills and some equipment. Whereas on TikTok, you just need your phone, on Instagram and Facebook. But with YouTube, it really speaks to more of a edited video, a nice background, you showing up in your expertise, it really being planned out. So it is a bit of a bigger hill to climb for many coaches who want to get started on YouTube. It can also take some time to build a loyal audience out there. And monetization, which is a pro of YouTube, you can monetize over there. They are limited for smaller channels. And so the other problem with YouTube is getting people off of YouTube into coaching programs. Again, YouTube works really well with an Instagram strategy because on YouTube, while there are shorts. There is no idea of like stories or DMing people and really creating that connection. So what I always recommend is on YouTube, you always drive people to your Instagram. If you're on Instagram and you have YouTube, you make sure you're advertising those YouTube videos. I view YouTube very much like a podcast where you're really putting in some production value there. It's a really solid piece of information that people want to watch. And so you have a lot of options when it comes to growing your coaching business on social media. I've outlined all of the pros and cons for how coaches could be showing up on these different channels. I have experience in all of them, and all of them can be just a very successful way for growing your coaching business. Here is my biggest piece of advice. Well, I have two biggest pieces of advice. I mentioned one already, which is please go into this with you're building a community. Quality versus quantity. You want to build this community, so you're talking to people, you're putting yourself out there. That's number one. And you're talking to other creators, and you're really building a network. I can't stress this enough. And really, it only takes 15 minutes a day. Put it on your calendar. Don't assign that out to a VA. You need to get involved. And not only that, when you're on these social media platforms interacting, you can see what other content creators are doing. This will give you a good idea on how to better position and message and niche your coaching business, as well as creative ideas and how to really stay up to date on the platform. That's number one. Number two is consistency. The algorithms will reward you for being consistent. They're not going to give you an audience if you're someone who just stops and starts and stops and starts. Why would they invest their effort and their audience in you if you are not showing up consistently on social media? That's number one. Your customers also really need you to be consistent. You consistently showing up, it starts a groundswell and it builds and it builds and it builds, and it just happens when you're consistent. Know that only 3% of your followers on average will be seeing your content. So it's in your best interest to create content and let the algorithms start delivering that to your followers as they click on other things or as they become interested or not interested in you. The algorithms can help you. If you want to maintain steady growth in your coaching business, you need to take social media seriously. You need to develop systems. It is your best way for generating high quality leads for your coaching business, but it also supports all of those other lead generation efforts you're doing. If you're sending an email and someone opens it, the social media algorithms know that. I know they are not connected in front of your eyes, but the social media algorithms know that they're opening your email. When they go to social media, they're more likely to be served your content because social media's best interest is to make sure that it's showing people stuff that is relevant to them. And with all of the technology that runs behind the scenes, it just knows. It knows if someone looked at you on TikTok and on Facebook. And so when you're strong on social media, your launches go better. Your email open rates increase. Your ad costs go down. Your marketing so much better. And so you really need to take social media super seriously as you develop and perfect one of these platforms that I mentioned today. You want to go out and conquer the next one. So there you have it. All of the social media platforms listed out for you right here on the Millionaire Maker Show. Don't forget to go get signed up for my workshop, fillyourcoachingprograms.live. Again, if you're listening to this and it's past the date that we just started, put your name and email in there. We are always hosting live events to help you grow your coaching business. If you enjoy this episode and other episodes of the Millionaire Maker Show, please make sure you subscribe. Until next time, I'm your host, Lindsay Anderson. Cheers to you and your success.
Thank you for listening to the Millionaire Maker Show with master business coach and creator of the Millionaire Maker coaching funnel, Lindsay Anderson. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time.